Hello and welcome to the TikTok workshop. It's been a little while, I know, since I've last posted a video, and that's because I've been working my way through the coursework for the BHI clock and watch servicing exams. And today we're going to be trying to put some of that theory into practice. We're going to be opening up this beautiful little clock right here and seeing if we can work out what's going on. Let's get one thing straight. This is not a tutorial video. Copying off me is like copying off that dumb kid in the class next to you when you've got the teacher standing in front of you. It's not a smart idea. If you want to learn how to do this properly, then you need to go out and pick up the books. This is just to show you what it's like. If you start doing this for the first time, there's going to be mistakes and you can't be too hard on yourself. So hopefully, by seeing the mistakes that I make, I'm going to be able to help you guys not make those same mistakes. So, what can I tell you about this clock? Not a lot, if I'm completely honest. So if you know anything about the history of this little timepiece, drop me a message in the comments. Here's what I think I've got. It's a single train movement, meaning it has a single mechanism inside, just for telling the time. There's no chime, alarm, or music on this little beauty. This shape, I believe, is called a tambour, or a Napoleon hat style. A very popular shape for a clock, and you can see why. She's stonking. It's got a paper dial. It's pretty dirty. That's it. That's all I've got. I'm not even sure what type of wood this is. But that's why we're studying. To learn all of this good stuff. Actually, it could be a mahogany. I'm not sure. Right, we have two primary objectives with this teardown today. Objective 1. All the parts that come out of the clock go back into the clock. And Objective 2. Don't break anything. And our secondary goal is to see if we can identify any faults. It is, however, going to be pretty unlikely that I'm going to be able to fix any of them. I have not got the skills to pay the bills. Literally, money's getting tight. I'm down to my last tin of caviar. Okay, let's get this puppy open. Taking off the key to begin with. And then we've got these three knurled nuts. Knurling is this crisscross pattern that you see on things, and it's used for giving you a better grip on stuff. Then we slide the cover off the back, and god damn, look at the state of that. It looks like someone's hit the thing with a can of WD-40. Ugh. Okay, we've got a new secondary objective. Clean the clock. And this video has now become a two-parter. If I clean it, I'm going to have to oil it, and I'm definitely not confident about doing that, but we'll give it a go. Let's pop the movement out. I've got a nice soft surface underneath here to protect everything. This is just a push fit, and it pushes out quite easily. Ooh, look at you, such a dirty boy. So what I'm doing now is something that I recommend for all of you guys and gals to do if this is the first time you're attempting something like this. Grab yourself a camera and record everything that you can. That way, if you can't remember where things go, you've got a reference, and this makes life much easier for yourself later on. This back plate is held on with 4 nuts and this thumb screw. I'm not exactly sure what this is for, but as it sits directly over the post that holds one end of the mainspring, I assume it's to distribute the forces a bit better. Let me know if I'm wrong about that. The movement is held in this outer ring by these 3 screws, which are absolutely filled with crap, so I clean them out with a bit of pegwood before I get started. And look at this, very naughty. I'm using the wrong size screwdriver. The proper choice would touch both sides of the slot and nearly touch the bottom of the screw. This one isn't even close. Naughty, Mark, naughty. So we take out the screws and... Wait, what's this nonsense? We don't want magnetic screwdrivers. This is going to happen from time to time, so we use this device, a demagnetizer, to sort that out. A demagnetizer puts out an alternating magnetic field, and as you pull parts through the field, it reduces the amount of charge on the object. You normally press that little red button as you do it, but as I've got the camera pretty close, I don't want to bugger anything up. And if you've done everything right, you should be left with a demagnetized object. Now we can slide this outer ring off and get access to the hands. I'm taking the hands off with the back of my tweezers. I've put a bit of plastic over the top of everything to stop things getting damaged. Now let's get the hour hand off. Not happening. I put way too much pressure on this and I'm lucky that I didn't break or bend anything. We're leaving this alone for the time being. So we need to get the face off. It's held on with these 3 pins, so I just take these out. I'm now able to lift off the dial with the hour hand and the hour wheel still attached. I slide those through the hole in the face and I'm going to deal with them later. Maybe. I might end up leaving them where they are because objective 2, don't break anything. Next we need to get the tension out of the mainspring. I've put the key in the back so that I've got something to hold on to when I release the click on the ratchet mechanism. If you don't do this, everything's going to go ballistic and objective 2 is failed. I have a dead watch in my collection because of exactly this. And after ripping my finger cots to bits, I noticed a couple of markings. One of the plates is marked with the word no with 4 dots underneath it. And there's another marking that says 1H. I tried to look these up online, but I wasn't able to find anything. So if any of you guys know what these mean, let me know and I'll let everyone else know in part 2 when I put everything back together again. Let's get this plate off. We've got the thumb screw off. What are you doing, you idiot? Stop using your fingers and grab a pair of tweezers. That's better. The 3 nuts come off next. I'll definitely need some better spanners. These are way too cumbersome. Another thing to add onto the shopping list that just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Next we need to remove this pin holding the balance spring. What the hell is wrong with you, Mark? Brass tweezers are not the tool for the job. Go grab some pliers. So we take the pin out, making sure to cover up the shot with our fat fingers. I will get better at this, people, honestly. Right, the balance spring gets threaded back through these 2 holes, and now we can carefully start taking the wheels off. Oh, Yep, all the wheels just fell out. Good job, genius. Luckily, we took those photos at the beginning, so we shouldn't have too much trouble putting everything back together again. So, what do we have here? We've got a pallet fork, we've got the balance wheel, the guy with the funky teeth is always the escape wheel, and 2 mystery wheels. One of these is going to be the 3rd wheel, and the other is going to be the 4th wheel, but I don't know which is which at the moment. And when we get the plate off, we can now see the mainspring and the centre wheel. We get the mainspring out carefully. I've kept a firm grip on this so that it doesn't unwind rapidly. I've only done this because it's a small spring. Try doing this with a large spring and you'll be reaching for the first aid kit. And after we've let out the tension, we can clearly see the ratchet mechanism. The bar that runs through the centre is called an arbor. It's got a hook on it which engages with a hole in the centre of the spring. I gave everything a twist so the hook was free of the hole, and then I pried the spring off with the back of a pair of tweezers. Now we can see how the ratchet works. We've got the great wheel going around the outside, the ratchet wheel, the click, and the this old Tony. I mean the click spring. Little insider YouTube joke there. Right, we're slowly getting there. Next we're taking off the minute wheel. This is held in place by the minute cock. Sorry, I read that wrong, the minute cock. We've got to bend these little pins so that we can get this out. Again, I've used a little sheet of plastic just to protect everything. Next, we take off this little lever. I'm not sure what the name of this is, but it adjusts the speed of the clock. These flat-sided screws have a cup in the bottom of them, and they're what holds the pivots of the balance spring. Next, everything goes into the cleaning solution. I'm using a diluted Horatech clock cleaner here. I've got to be careful not to stick the heavy parts in with the light ones. Objective 2, people here, objective 2. After a bit of a soak, we hit everything with a brush. You need to get into all the nooks and crannies. For the stubborn bits, I sharpened up a bit of pegwood so that it was shaped like a flat screwdriver. But look how dirty the cleaning solution is getting already. I made up a second bowl of cleaning solution, but next time I'm probably going to give the parts a bit of a pre-wash. After we've taken them out of the cleaning solution, we give everything a rinse in some clean water with a fresh brush. Grab your blower and give the parts a thorough drying. And finally, I roll the wheels in a bit of Rodico to clean out the teeth a little bit better. Seriously, look at all the crap that's still coming off of them. The plates need their pivot holes cleaned, and a bit of pegwood sharpened into a point is perfect for the job. This is called pegging out. And finally, I threw a bit of polish over the back of the frame of the clock. I didn't go too mad here, as I wasn't looking for a mirror finish. Of course, once you've done this, you need to peg your holes out again because they're going to be filled with polish. Okay, we're going to leave things there for the time being. If I'm completely honest with you, by this point, I've been working on the videos and the teardown for about 12 hours straight, and I noticed that I was starting to get a little bit frustrated and I was starting to rush a little bit, and that's always a good indicator that you probably need to stop and take a bit of a rest. On the next episode, I'm going to be putting everything back together again, plus there was a couple of little bits and pieces that I noticed that I missed out. So if you enjoyed this episode, stick around for the next episode. Thank you very much for watching, and go and get your hands dirty. Do 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 do.